This Eyewitness News Brief is brought to you by Heineken.
Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, Elliot Gross's lawyer responds to word that New York's medical examiner now faces state misconduct charges. And Queens residents go to court to try to keep AIDS patients out of a neighborhood building.
Some confusion tonight about reports that a growth on the president's nose was being checked for cancer. Charges that a woman died after being kept waiting 9 hours in an emergency room. And Joel Siegel reviews the new movie Weird Science at 11.
Why just have a beer when you can have the beer? Heineken, America's #1 imported beer.
Come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken.
Is officially served with charges of misconduct. And also tonight, Queens residents go to court to keep AIDS patients out of a neighborhood building.
Charges that a New York woman died after waiting 9 hours in an emergency room. The president has a skin growth removed, but now there are questions about its seriousness. And Joel Siegel reviews a new teenage fantasy movie, Weird Science. Next on Eyewitness News.
Animal rights, tomorrow at 6. This is Eyewitness News with Ernie Anastos, Kaity, Tong, Storm Field, Corey McFerrin, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. Here's what's happening. New York City medical examiner Elliot Gross says he will respond tomorrow to charges of incompetence and negligence. Those charges were formally brought against Dr. Gross late today by a state panel which had been investigating the way he handled certain controversial autopsies, such as that of Michael Stewart, the graffiti artist who died in police custody. For the second time this year, Gross has stepped down from his job, and his attorney tonight says Gross is upset, especially since he was already cleared by the city.
He's pretty angry that he has to go through the same ordeal again. The charges are, to the extent of 8/9 of the cases cited, a rehash of what the Lyman Commission did, and the 9th one is a dispute about testimony he gave in a case out of state where pathologists differ all the time.
Marikoch says he agrees with Gross's decision to take the 60-day leave of absence, and he says he's asked Governor Cuomo to expedite the misconduct hearings. The specific details of the charges have not yet been revealed. There are indications that could happen as early as tomorrow. Ernie?
A Queens hospital is under fire tonight, the subject of a state investigation into the death of an elderly woman. Anna Katz died last December, but as Julie Eckert tells us now, her daughter is still waiting for some answers.
One night last December, 78-year-old Anna Katz fell in her Queens apartment. Her daughter found her the next day, lying on the floor.
She said she couldn't move her neck hurt her, and that her arms hurt her, and she ached generally all over.
Mrs. Katz was brought by ambulance here to the emergency room at St. John's Queens Hospital, but her daughter charges she was basically ignored for 9 hours.
She was triaged as a 1, which is a person in need of urgent care.
And that was immediately when she came in?
That's right. And that's right.
And she never got it?
She never got it. She just was left there.
Mrs. King says she kept telling the doctor about her mother's neck pain, but tests were never done.
He turned to the medical resident and asked for the neck x-ray, and she said, I didn't order it. I forgot to order it.
6 hours later, a doctor allegedly told Mrs. King that her mother just had arthritis, and he ordered the patient home.
My husband said to him, look, the woman can't walk, let alone raise her head. And he said, that's your problem, not ours.
Soon afterward, Mrs. Katz appeared to be in a coma.
And I kept asking them and pleading with them to come to my mother, but they didn't.
9 hours after she was admitted, Anna Katz died. The autopsy report showed the cause of death was a fracture of the cervical spine, a broken neck. The State Health Department has now charged St. John's Hospital with 7 violations, citing numerous deficiencies regarding timeliness and completeness of care. They'll hold a hearing in August. Meanwhile, Mrs. King plans to sue.
This lawsuit is not going to bring my mother back, but maybe it'll put the hospital on notice that they just can't do this to the public.
Tonight, St. John's Hospital says there will be no comment on this case. In Queens, I'm Julie Eckert, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
We've been telling you about hospitals in our area that are apparently in